going on, everyone? It's Joshua here, giving you guys another voiceover review, and this is going to be my review for DC Legion of Superheroes, the first comic book movie project of the year, and is a DC animated film that is part of the Tomorrowverse franchise. This is directed by Jeff Wamester. And simple premise is that Supergirl must contend with a mysterious group called the Dark Circle as it searches for a powerful weapon held in the Legion Academy. If you guys are new to the channel, all my social media links are in the description box down below. If you're watching on screen, you will see them right here. From Facebook all the way up to my letterbox and my serialized. I'm also available on Hive. If you like seeing more into my Cash App, that's down there as well. Be sure to like the video, comment below what you think of the film, or what we're talking about today, and share this video, and subscribe and hit that bell to get more epitastic content. With that being said, let's get into the review. Supergirl is one of my favorite DC female heroines. I think she's a great character. The cousin of Superman, just like him, but she's a very fun character. And lately, everyone knows that I'm not a fan of the 1984 Supergirl movie with Helen Slater. I think is one of DC's worst live action films, but I have to give that another watch with a different version. I do like the TV show, despite it going downhill in its final 2 seasons. I still enjoy it. But I was curious to see what they were going to do her. But the main reason I was hesitant is one reason we'll get into later on, but I still went into it with some hope and some optimism that it would at least be fun. You have Supergirl going to the Legion Academy, and then you're having her having to deal with new life on Earth, devastated by the loss of Krypton. Simple premise. So, did I enjoy this? We'll get into it. And this is an early review, by the way. This comes out on physical media on February 7th. So this is not going to theaters. This is going straight to DVD. And the first big pro of this, where I think this movie shines the most, is a story. The story is simple. It is just, as I described, Supergirl having to adjust to new life on Earth and learn how to control her powers and deal with starting over in a world where basically it's not her home, and learning how to use her powers with other superheroes for good. And I think it tells a very good story about that, learning how to deal with that, starting over and it could have honestly went the easiest route and be like, no, we're not going in that direction, but they really did decide to take their time and actually go that route and give it some good character moments, give it some good emotional beats, and it goes for it. This is only an hour and 23 minutes. It's 83 minutes, gets you straight in, gets you straight out, and it does do a very good job at being exactly what it sets out to be. And directing and writing here is strong. Here is very good. Writing and directing, everyone does a good job. You can tell that the writing team and directing team does know these characters like the back of their head, and they do try to honor them in the best respect they can. And music score is also very good for a movie like this. It's not the grandiose score that we're so used to, but I think the score in this is actually really solid. I did appreciate the musical score here. It's, like I said, it's not too long either. It could be a little bit longer for a few more characters getting more to do, but the pacing of the movie is very brisk, and it gets you know what you're coming here for. And for showing the character development here, we see Supergirl, of course, herself. I'll get into the voice acting a little bit later, but you have Kara Zor-El, Supergirl. She is flawed. She's vulnerable. She has a lot of sass, she has spark and a lot of honor, but she is the Supergirl that we know and love, and you do get that if you're expecting to see Supergirl that you know and love. So you're definitely getting what you're paying for when it comes to something like this, and it it knows what is going. It knows what it is, and you get other characters. You got Brainiac, you have Mon-El, you have other set group of characters that I definitely like. And I like these characters. We do have some characters that you already know, but in all that, it just goes with what it's saying out to do. And for that, it does get the biggest credit here. The voice acting, of course, is strong. I'll get to the main attraction in a minute, but I want to go through some of the supporting cast here. First off, you have Jensen Ackles as the voice of Batman, and he does pretty good for his screen time that he's given. He does a very good job in his role. Matt Bomer does very solid as the Flash. He's one of the better interpretations of this character. Darren D. Paul does great with Brainiac, and I like what they do with him, especially. I'm not going to give it away, but I really liked his character and some of his awesome parts. Ben Diskin as Arms Fall Off Board, I thought was very good. You also have the great Victoria Grace as Shadow Lass, who did the voice cast for The Last of Us 2. Jennifer Hill plays Allura, of course. Great voice actress. She does very good in her part. You also have Cynthia Hamidi as Dawn Star. Eli Henry as Bouncy Boy. Daisy Lightfoot as Triplicate Girl. You have Eric Lopez, Zeno Robinson, Gideon Adlon as Phantom Girl. You got former Glee actor Darren Criss as Superman. He does very good here. Robbie Damon as Timberwolf is also very good. Yuri Lowenthal plays Mon-El. You also have Harry Shum Jr. as Brainiac 5. He was pretty solid here too as well. So all of those supporting actors and main co-stars does a very good job. But I want to get to the most valuable player here, and that is of course the awesome, lovely Meg Donnelly as Supergirl, Kara Zor-El. Now, when I first heard that she was going to be voicing Supergirl, I admit I was a little hesitant because we know Meg Donnelly from stuff like the Zombies trilogy, and she's doing stuff on CW and such, and she is also a singer too. So, if my one concern, right, with honoring the character, then all went away by the time watching this movie, because she brings a lot of spunk, she brings a lot of vulnerability, she brings a lot of charm into the role of Kara Zor-El, Supergirl, and she made it her own. So she gets the character down. She is very likable in the role, and she's vulnerable, despite the fact that she's not human. She is pretty much a hero, and that's going through some things. And you see her interactions with Superman and the other heroes, and you see that Batman is scared of her potential. So you understand a little bit of that going on, but even with that part is just probably some of the best stuff. But I thought Meg Donnelly's voice does give the character what she needs. And now moving on to the negatives here, I will say there are some characters in this that gets underused there. Like there's a few characters like the ones I just mentioned that doesn't get a whole lot to do. And for that, like I said, you could have given them a bit more to do in this, and it would have helped them just a bit more. Not that they were bad or anything. I think all the voice acting was very strong, but I felt like you could have given some of these other guys something to do, and it would have made it a little bit more fluent, a little bit more fine. And also, there are some mom- some moments of comedy that is not the best. And yes, while at times she can be a little bit frustrating sometimes with some of her emotions, is understandable with Supergirl being so emotional about losing her hometown and having to adjust to new life and having to deal with what other people thinks of her. But those are really my only sort of issues with this, because I still thought the rest of the movie has something to it, everything that makes it work, and it delivered on what you wanted to see when it comes to the Legion of Superheroes. And this is definitely Supergirl's show. So if you are a Supergirl fan and you've been craving to see Supergirl get some much needed effects, you're definitely gonna get it here. Especially if you are a fan of the character. I am a fan of the character from the Smallville show and maybe Justice League and also a few other things, especially DC Superhero Girls. But having her lead her own animated movie like this, and the credits scene that they have towards the end, I'm very curious to see what they're going to set up. But my overall thoughts on this, DC's Legion of Superheroes, I think this is one of their best of the Tomorrowverse. I definitely like what this is setting up. I love the animation style. I like the performances, especially from Meg Donnelly, who proves herself as one of the best Supergirl actresses. The action is fine, the directing is cool, and if you are a fan, I would recommend this. And it's not too long, get straight to the point, and it's definitely worth your time. So I would definitely go ahead and give this an Epictastic. Be sure to get this when it comes out on Blu-ray next week. Well, that's going to do it for the video that you just watched. I will have my channel here, so you would like to see anything here, click the channel icon, subscribe for more. I will also leave a video and maybe a playlist here, so in case you want to see what I'm about. As always, stay Epictasticness, join the Epictasticness, and you guys keep it cool.